friend, Reverend Simon Peter Jones, inviting you, my friends, to listen every Tuesday evening on Best 100 FM at 7:30 p.m. for the program The Voice of Hope, as we extend hope to the hopeless in this dying world. God is good. Be encouraged. Hope is in.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, 100, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and me check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and then diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
Try to call it, guys. Trust me.
What a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all, you can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back. I see you have your device up in hand. You go first.
Yeah. Yesterday we spoke about Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
And Abraham
and Abimelech and the half-truth, as you perceive it.
I never got on the road.
That's what we spoke about.
I know, but you say half-truth, me call it something else. But anyway, the same situation happened to his son, Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac was in a place, and there was famine, and he was about to leave. And God said to him, I don't want you to leave. I'm going to bless you in this place, right where you are. And and it is so interesting that even though God spoke the word to him and says, all right, stay, I'm going to bless you, that he had to overcome obstacles. That he started to be blessed and the people around him start to quarrel about him blessing that he's getting. So he said, all right, I'm not going to stay in a war. I'm going to not be in a quarrel with you. So he moved again. So he had to do it 1, 2, 3 times. And then he came to a place and he called it Rehoboth, which means open spaces where God causes you to flourish and to bless you. But what was significant about that, he was simply walking in what his dad, God had promised his dad to do for him. And I'm just saying over a lot of persons, God has clearly said something to you, and you have received the word, and then you question the word and say, but oh, God say I'm gonna do that, and me getting, I will say, peer crosses. Stay focused. Stay focused. The process you're going through is in preparation for what is going to be ultimately place that you will really prosper and flourish. And the other thing too was after Jacob had deceived had
So we're now into the next generation.
the next generation.
Right, so there's Abraham, then now you're looking at Jacob.
Yes.
You're gonna get down to us eventually.
If I'm gonna get to you,
to this generation.
But might been time, probably the next 400 years. but the thing is to stay focused.
No, you were saying Jacob. What is Jacob's story?
Well, but
that you're referencing?
Well, Jacob was after he had in Jamaica, they're saying lamps, him brother and lamps, his father, and he had to run for his life, and he was at a place and he went to sleep. And he had a dream and he saw a staircase going up and down to him. We'd call it a portal was open. And then he woke up and says, wow, God was in this place. And I never know that God was in this place, which is where it ended. God is in the place, but you have to be so aware that you do not miss your moment that God is seeking to intervene into your life and situation. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking at some of the issues that are already making themselves heard
this morning
in this early stage of the year, and the idea that God is in this place has not departed, notwithstanding the presence of all kinds of things which you would say are against God.
Crosses.
You would typically look at Jamaica right now invites a statement of condemnation. Anywhere that you see the poor getting poorer, where you see a certain level of insensitivity in the halls of authority to the plight and condition of the vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And the vulnerable, you can never speak about the vulnerable without including prisoners,
mm-hmm.
those in prison, those who are poor,
mm-hmm.
widows,
mm-hmm.
orphans, persons with disability.
Mm-hmm.
You walk the streets of Jamaica any given day, and what you see tells you a different story from what is written in the papers and what's reported abroad. Whether it is the kind of discrimination and poverty and hopelessness that is stalking people of marked African descent. So the majority of the black people who look like me and you are more like me. I'm kidding, I include you.
Mm-hmm.
Although with all the hair on your face this morning,
mm-hmm.
hard to tell. But people who look like us are getting the rougher end of the deal always. And that has been so for just such a long time. You might look at it and say, where is God? And yes, there is the psalm. Why do the nations say, where is their God?
Mm-hmm.
Because in those places of Jamaica, you get the most churches and the most praying and the most Pentecostal fire. And it doesn't seem
where
amongst the poor people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't agree? Or
you get the whole, I'd say all over Jamaica.
yeah, but we are all over Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
I don't
we are
think
all over Jamaica. I'm not talking about geographic. I'm not talking about inner city communities, if that's what you think of when you think of poor people. What do you think of a particular geographic location? When we say the poor people of Jamaica, or the people who have little in Jamaica, where do you see them living? You don't see them all over Jamaica?
Them all over Jamaica. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no, because you seem to think that when I was speaking,
Mhm.
you thought I was referring to a particular area?
Yeah, that's what I thought. So what I'm saying
Okay.
is all
So
over.
what area would that be?
No area at all. I see the in
No,
terms
what
of,
when you thought I was limiting the location of
you said
people who don't
because
have enough.
no, because you
What
said
area were you thinking of?
I was thinking all over Jamaica because they said the Pentecostals and you see
No, when you listened to me and you thought I didn't mean all over Jamaica, what place did you think I had in mind? Because you corrected me. So I'm just trying to get an understanding of where you think people mistakenly believe poor people live. Because poor people live in Stony Hill.
Yeah.
They live on Long Lane where me live.
Yeah. So
They live in the
right.
inner city. They live in the
Most
rural
people,
communities.
most times when people think about it,
Yes, tell me.
they think of poor people living in inner city, you know. But
Me no said that's what you were thinking. I think that's you though.
No.
Well, but I didn't mean it, and you thought that's what I meant. And there's nothing in any conversation we've ever had that would cause you to believe that I think poor people are only in the inner city. Some of the inner city people have more money than me and you.
That's true.
Because and it is poverty is very much a state of mind in one manifestation and has nothing to do with cash.
That's another thing too. So
So-
you were making a point. You were making a point before you.
Yeah, I'm making the point that all these places that we look at and believe that they've been abandoned by God, He is very much. In fact, He's there in the manifestation of His existence is even greater in those places than in the other quarters where the sanctified, those who think they're sanctified. I've said those who think they're sanctified. Because many of us mistake material wealth and progress for the blessings of God. And it's not to say that those are not blessings. It's a form of blessing. But you can advance materially and progress in this world without being blessed by God. You can be enjoying it from other sources. And if you consider the fullness of what Christ said when he spoke in his Sermon on the Mount, and he spoke about those who pray in public places, those who give with such fanfare. He says that is their reward. Their reward is the puffed up chest and conceited spirit that invade them because they feel like I am good and everybody can see that I am good. And their reward is the material gains that the world will lay at their feet because the world perceives them to be good. So you can be well resourced in the pocket, have high status, and it's nothing to do with the blessings of God. It is only the temporary reward of the world that you get because you are satisfying the expectations of the world. You're moving in accordance with the norms and values and culture of the world. I feel like that's an important point to make because sometimes when we are down, looking at others doing so much better and wondering how it is that this one has so much more when they are the wicked. You know, the wicked that spread like a green bay tree. That one who look like he's always flourishing, but of whom it is said that you search for him and he will be no more. I feel like it is necessary for us to, as we look at others marching along and look at our own progress and where we are and so on, not to mistake the glitter of someone else's lifestyle to be the real gold, to borrow from the headline and
gold.
say fool's gold. You have to know how to recognize the things that are truly temporary
And what are important
and
for you.
what's important. So you said God is in this place. I know, I look around, I am very, very conscious of the presence and the existence of God. But what we are charged to do in this season is to teach others and demonstrate to others how you can draw closer to the true value that lies in a relationship with God. You started to say something this morning about Isaac being told that he would be blessed right here where he was in a place that he was surrounded by jealousy, by famine, by all the appearances of then godlessness, wouldn't you say?
So that and even as you say it, because we believe, and it is a misconception that people have, that you have to go to certain places in order to be blessed by God. But
Yes.
but God is not bound by that.
Like you have to go to America,
God-
even if you have to cross the border at Mexico and be beaten up.
and all of those things.
Because
it could mistake, because I'm of the firm conviction and belief that if you walk according to the principles and the commands that God has given, He says He will bless you. And we think not of blessing only in terms of material things, but the full plate of what needs to happen, So that's where it's at. And I'm in agreement with you, That's why we God is there with us, but our eyes are not open to see what God is doing. And I think that is what happened to Jacob. He was in the place. God was there speaking to him, and he was not aware. And he thought, "Oh my Lord, God was in this place," and I never ever recognized what was happening.
Yeah.
And that for me is a very important lesson for all of us, even as persons of faith. We must recognize that God is always with us. We have to become even more aware of His doings and of His workings in our lives. Because we put God in a box most of the time. I say God need to work that way. When God is doing other things, because we have yielded our lives to Him and says, I trust you, which is what our faith is about. You are trusting God to do good according to you. Yeah.
So now to relate it to current happenings. I'm going to start with.
Who's good?
Well, we started with that already. The DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution, has come out speaking on the issue of, well, she says there's a crisis with jurors. Now, we spoke about covenant yesterday, and the covenant between Jamaicans is founded on the Constitution. That Constitution entitles persons who come into the court system to what is generally called due process. What it means that the principles and the systems that work together to give you a fair trial and a just result must be engaged promptly, efficiently, and in a fairly transparent manner, so that persons could have certainty to their expectations. Law and the observance of law is meaningless if each man who comes to engage with the process cannot have a conviction, a confidence that he or she is going to come out of it with some value, something of value. Whether you win or lose, you must come out of it feeling like, I got my day in court, I saw a system that worked, I had no fear that it was corrupted by any underhand behavior or process. One of the very important parts of an efficient justice system in modern societies, but it has its origin in some very ancient places, is the use of jurors. Not all systems of law use jurors, but in a modern society in a modern democratic society, let me include that word, where you want to have the confidence of your citizens and the support of your citizens in whatever system you have, then bringing the ordinary man into the process to play a role is an important institution. So the jury system is one of the institutions that hold a democratic society
Intention.
together. I'd said to you some long time ago that the laws that rise to the top come out of the consensus of the society
In terms
as
of policy, how they feel.
to what it is they feel is right and just and what they're prepared to support and reinforce and defend. If and one of those things is the jury system, because what is true, what is credible, what passes for just judgment must resonate with the heart and the morals of the ordinary man. It can't be something that he don't understand. And say, well, when we go court, then do a thing, but I mean, I know where to. It must resonate. In your belly, you must feel that this is a right principle to follow. And so the jury is the ordinary man that comes in. In the arena of the courtroom, you have the judge who deals with the law and the procedures. You have the prosecutor who marshals the evidence and presents it. You have the juror who is the judge of the facts. And through all of that, you end up with a trial coming to a credible result that people can say, even if it's not perfect, it was the best we could do. Of course, you have the witnesses who must
and the prosecution and the
who
defense.
The prosecutor marshals the evidence through the witnesses, and then defense counsel and the accused person or the defendants, the parties are, the rest of the tableau. There has been much talk about what's happening with the jury system. Last year, we had our very own Chief Justice
saying that,
coming out public to say, do away with the jury system. It is inconvenient. We don't have enough of them. Some jurors, society has withdrawn its support because witnesses not coming forth, jurors not coming forth, and it's holding up things. The administration of justice is being held up because we're not having jurors. Last night, now, the DPP was reported in the news as saying the system needs to be rejigged. Now, what's interesting is that she didn't join with the Chief Justice to say do away with them. She makes an interesting statement that I kind of like, because she says no judge alone can give justice, no prosecutor or DPP alone can give justice, no police officer alone can give justice, or even defense counsel. They need witnesses and they need members of the public to engage with the system, not only to give service as juror, but very importantly, to tell what they know, because without credible, cogent, reliable, and admissible evidence, the prosecution will not be able to prove a case or persuade counsel for the defense and his client to consider pleading guilty. Now, clearly, she's answering many questions when she makes that statement.
There's a whole heap of questions
She's answering the one that has been posed about the grant of bail and judges seeming to be indiscriminate in allowing persons to be on bail, and when they come out, they reoffend. She's saying here that a prosecutor cannot advance the cause of justice unless the public engages with the system to be witnesses and to be jurors. Where do you think the jurors are, Percy? In Hanover, I give you an example. They said in Hanover, the Westmoreland Circuit Court did not have more than 14 jurors in the last Easter term. 14. You're supposed to have, where they have 14, they should have like 200 people from which they select a raft of, what was it, Lowell, in your case? 25?
25 jurors.
Yeah, but you have to have a number so that so persons can object. You can have a process of selection, because jury selection is a big deal in and of itself. to get the right profile individual who is suited to hear a case and to make the determination on a case. Do you know, in the Vibes Cartel trial, on good authority, one of the juror was like an ex-military man.
So he was thrown out.
No.
Okay.
No. It is a sad situation that you're not able to do your best with the jury system because either the monitoring of the system, the quality of the individuals who come, whatever the situation might be, sometimes it seems like they just need to have a body in the chair that's a juror.
Okay.
But when the numbers dwindle and dwindle and dwindle and you're just left with a small group, that in itself is an opportunity for justice to be perverted.
So your solution?
I mean, I have no solution. We're talking it through. I haven't proposed a solution. My question is, where have all the jurors gone?
It sounds like a song that you sing. Where have all the young men gone?
It's the same question. You know, that
Long
time it was a war
time
song. They
passing,
were
yes.
where the jurors? Them in prison because the police picked them up in SOE
Are them free?
and no. Well, start with the number of reasons because we act as if there is Jamaica running properly on some system that nobody knows about. And then there is a wayward Jamaica that you can continue to put under state of emergency and persecute and punish. Is one Jamaica, is one body of people. And if you traumatize them, you will have no jurors, no witnesses, no investors, no workers. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the same tribe of people.
The same pool.
So Hanover, look at the pressure that Hanover been under. Has Hanover been out of Zozo or state of emergency for the last 5 years?
Yeah, because they've never.
So who going to be the jurors?
People them.
Yeah, either you kill off your people because rampant violence.
Yeah.
Who not victim is
related to victim.
Is related to victim. And when you're doing jury selection, let's say you're selecting jurors for a rape case. You don't want anybody on it who was the victim of rape or who is connected to someone who was raped or charged with rape or serving time for rape or so on. So
your pool
has to be large enough for you to weed out the persons whose biases could compromise their decision making, their judgment in the case. So in the selection of jurors, the prosecution have a certain number of objections they can make, and so does the defense. So you can get rid of those who you think, based on their profile, wouldn't be suitable for a particular case. When you have 14 people, oh God, what objection? Did the prosecutor have 7 objections and the other man have 7?
So you have nobody.
You get down to 0. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, but it's
so
a real
in a
thing.
nation that is so traumatized with everybody either being a victim or a perpetrator or a relative of one of either, and sometimes both, or you're in law enforcement because you can't be a juror if you're in law enforcement.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Lawyers can't be jurors.
Nor policemen, nor soldiers.
Because of you're not an ordinary person.
Okay.
You have specialized knowledge.
So this is so the clarion. So if you're ex, you can't be either like ex law or you don't know.
Well, I think the standards must be falling to allow you to have bodies.
Okay.
Shouldn't say falling. Changing. Well, here she is saying rejig. Then you come to the economics of it. If you have a small business in Hanover and 2 of your staff get pulled for jury duty,
who going to run it?
You have to pay them, because you can't not pay an employee because they've been called up for jury duty. And the stipend that the individual gets cannot even cover bus fare and lunch.
Yeah, that
and they don't provide lunch.
Yeah, because I saw that in the feedback on the news last night.
Yeah.
People are saying...
So the DPP has raised that as well. If you were to take jurors from out of town now, let's say Hanover is such that it's best that you take jurors from Kingston. Now you have to put up hotel, And you know, you watch TV and you see jurors being sequestered and in a hotel or a motel, and government is paying the bill. How?
So if we want justice, we have to be willing to make the sacrifice to have justice.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
That is so. But you cannot have high expectations in a system that is traumatized by so many other things. So when you're addressing the jury system, you cannot be unmindful of the
whole,
general
the
conditions.
bigger condition, the
yes.
bigger set that you
All
put
right.
in the people.
It's 7 a.m.